Hello and welcome. It's coming up to the end of May. It's time to bring the last of the seedlings that I've got started out at home out to the plot. We've got some courgettes that I sowed the end of April. It's been sat inside south facing patio doors. They look quite compact, but once you start sort of spreading them out, they are a little bit straggly. Maybe they haven't got enough light. So they've been inside all the time, they're not used to being outside. And we've got some backup pumpkins that we're going to be bringing to the plot too. Why backup pumpkins? Go down to the greenhouse and I'll explain. So here we are at the greenhouse. I moved all my pumpkins out to the plot maybe a month ago. Started out with 10 or 11 plants. Bit by bit, start getting eaten and just disappearing. The warning signs were there. Whatever, I'm left with 3 plants, one of which I dropped. So I'm left with 2 which are in a bit of a state. So am I going to risk moving my courgettes into what should be a safe space in the greenhouse where all I have to bother about is watering, or what else do I do? So I decided not to risk putting them in the greenhouse of death. Something's been eating my chilies as well. I mean, what eats chilies? Some of them have got virtually no leaves left, so something's having a good meal in there. So I'm not going to risk putting my courgettes in there, but they haven't been used to being outside, so I'm going to have to put them straight out into the plot. What am I going to do? Well, it's time to build a little structure just to surround the courgettes. Plenty of light, but protect them from the wind and the elements. Hopefully keep them away from anything that's going to eat them. So I had a look around the plot. What bits of wood and glass did I have? Got some old windows, some of which are in a better state than others. Gathered up some old screws and stuff. And off we go with another zero cost build. They seem quite comfortable in there. I dug some holes and put some compost in, so planted all them out, put stakes just around them to just, if there is any wind sort of getting in there, that'll help them stop moving around too much. So the backup pumpkins I had, there were 2 that I'd sowed outside, Big Max pumpkins. So they've been outside, so that's not a problem, they can go straight out into the plot. And I took the 2 pumpkins that had been in the greenhouse, what was left of them, and put them out into the plot too. Although they haven't been used to the outside weather, I'm sure they're safer outside than they are in there. When it comes to sort of backup seeds and losing crops and stuff, I'm already on my backup sweet corn. I sowed a batch of 50, about 3 came up. So another batch of 50, maybe about 4 coming up. So I kind of semi-mind that peas, whatever, if the birds get them, I'm not bothered. It's the time you invest in stuff, or the time it takes for stuff to grow. Like the chilies, if they don't make it, I am bothered about that because I sowed those in January. And pumpkins and squash, they're kind of a longer term project. So I'm a bit protective about my pumpkins, but 2 Big Macs that are germinating outside, straight out into the plot. 2 that I've got here, out into the plot to fend for themselves. And I've got maybe 8 or so other pumpkins. These are jack-o'-lantern pumpkins, again germinated indoors, they haven't been outside yet. So I'm going to give them another week. Didn't put them in the greenhouse, don't trust it in there. So I've put them in this shed, just by the window on a plank. Wait for them to get a bit bigger, then they can go out into the plot. So I'm going to come back in a couple of days, midweek, and water the stuff in the greenhouse and see if anything needs water in here. So I'll come back and sign off the video once we've checked the state of play, whether the courgettes are alright, and see how the pumpkins are. So over to Dave in a couple of days time. Well, it's 3 days later and we're back. It's all wet and windy. Worst case, they've all been damaged or destroyed, but we can have some nice video thumbnails, can't we? Some exciting video thumbnails. More likely it's going to be something like this. So let's go find out what they look like. Let's wander down. They're here somewhere. We're getting an early view. Yeah. Oh God, look at that. Some have been definitely eaten. Some have survived. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Some are alright, some are alright. Some are alright. Oh dear. Oh dear. I'm trying to find some positive end here. The structure has done its job protecting from the wind. As you can see, very windy day. It's alright down here. I think that's as many positives as we can get. Oh, them courgettes. They haven't fared any better or worse than they would in the greenhouse, I guess. Let's have a look at the pumpkin. That one's no worse than it was. That one, which had all the leaves on, has completely gone. And would you believe it? My Big Mac pumpkin was there, and it was here, I think. Pumpkins gone. Pumpkins have gone. No Big Macs pumpkins this year then. Maybe very few courgettes. Let's go have a look, see if the jack-o'-lantern pumpkins that are hopefully safe in the shed. Let's see how they look. In we go. We can look from the outside. They are fine. They are fine. I'll go in and water them in a minute, but oh! Oh, what are you gonna do? Right, well that's enough disappointment for this video. No big pumpkins this year. Hopefully there'll be some smaller pumpkins this year, some jack-o'-lanterns, but I'm gonna have to really protect those. And keep your fingers crossed on a couple of them courgettes. That's it for this week. Thanks for watching. Click subscribe. Send me a comment. See you next time. Cheers.